and welcome to this edition of Masterpiece Sisters of the Holy Fiber. I'm Tiny Kiwi, also known as Heather, and this is
Rambunctious Guy, also known as Evan. Join us while we craft and chat. And make things over and over again.
Yeah.
Because we didn't do it right the first time.
Yeah, so speaking of such things, why don't you go first? Oh, that's so cruel.
Well, I'm going to start with a positive.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with a positive. I finished another berry baby hat. So now I have 2.
Yay!
Yay! So, it's exactly the same as the first one. It's exactly the same. There's the first one. There's the second one. Actually, I don't know. This could be number 1 and this could be number 2. I think this is number 1 because the little dealy bob on the top is a little longer than this one.
Yeah, that's funny.
But I'm super happy that I finally did what I've been thinking about doing for about 5 years. Okay. One of these is for an actual baby. The other is going to go in a stash for future babies. Because there will be more. There will be more.
There's never really a deficit of babies.
No. So now I have knitted things to give.
Cool.
Yay. So that's my positive. FO. It's my only FO. Now we'll move right along into whips. So my giant pieces of Terry's sweater were on a bias. So it was about an inch that it was going sideways because one row was plain knit and then the other row was twisted. That meant that one row was twisting sideways, and it didn't have, like in a truly twisted stockinette, one row is twisted and then the other row is twisted, so they pull that way and then they pull that way, so it ends up as a straight fabric. But in the fabric I was doing, which in the back of my mind, I thought maybe this will be a problem, but I never listened. I never listened to the back of my mind. And then I always end up in these situations. So, I tried to convince myself that I could do it. And then I called you. I knew I needed to frog it. And you helped me. How was I? Describe that conversation for...
It's the usual, I have something I need to frog and I don't want to frog it conversation. Maybe if I pretend.
Yeah. Maybe if I pretend that blocking will fix it, then I don't have to frog it. But I was very good.
If you have to utter the words, maybe blocking will fix it, chances are good blocking will not fix it. Not really, no.
Sometimes blocking will fix minor problems. That's true.
Minor though.
But not like fabric characteristics.
Yeah.
You know, so I frogged it. And here, this is the Swift that Terry made for me. Ooh. So nice. Here's one ready to go. Ooh, it's unbalanced because the thing is too short. So I've only got it on 3 instead of all 4.
Uh-huh.
So when I made, okay, here's the dealio. The nitty knotty that I made for spinning came real in handy when I needed to rip out 11 inches times 2, 22 inches of fabric. Mm-hmm. So I just wound it onto a nitty knotty. My 2 yard, I did the first one on 2 yards. That one was too big for my Swift. Then I did the other 2 on 1 yard. Now that's too small. So now I need to make like a 1.5 yard one. So that when I need to rip things out, it'll fit on my Swift.
You know what I hear? Math. What? Yeah.
So here's the other. This was all knitted fabric. This was all knitted fabric. that I ripped out, and then it was all kinky, so I washed it, and then now it's not kinky, and now I have to reskein it.
Yeah. I saw we.
And this is how much I've made of a sweater in regular stockinette stitch that Terry will like.
Yes. Sorry.
I have knit the front 3 times now.
I believe it.
So if I had done things in a parallel universe the correct way the first time, I would be done with the sweater.
Great.
But I know enough now to know to not forge ahead and need to rip it out and do it properly.
Yeah.
So, you know, it might not get done. I was trying to aim for her birthday in August. What is she going to do with a wool sweater in August? Put it in a drawer for a couple of months until it gets cold. So if I don't have it done for her birthday,
it won't be the end of days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have one more whip, but
okay.
If you have a whip,
no, go for it.
You can. Okay. The other whip that has received a little bit of attention, because I needed a break.
Yeah.
From Terry's sweater. These are just plain socks, plain vanilla socks in, Zauberbowl. It's like a self-striping sock yarn. So, knitting them 2 at a time. I think I put like 3 rows on them. So, not a whole lot. But this is not showing up very well. This is dark, like maroon, purpley, and then it goes to black. And then it's going to eventually go to this brighter maroon color.
Nice.
So, and this is actually living in a bag that I made myself.
Nice.
Using some kind of directions online, you know, is like, make a reversible bag. You know, all it is a sack. There's no fancy pockets, none of that joojads or anything.
Yeah.
Fancy sack. So it's a really nice sock size, though. So those are my 2 projects. And I can't remember the name of these needles, or I would tell you.
That's okay.
Nope, don't remember.
I need more needles like I need a hole in the head.
So, what have you been working on?
Little bits and bobs, good question. I'm still trying to put together the perfect way of carrying my calligraphy stuff. And I have some failures and some successes. Did I show you this one?
Yes.
This sponge.
Yes.
I actually tried using these sea sponges, and it didn't work out. Because I had these leftover ones. Daddy used them for some kind of inking project he was doing, and he's like, here, have some leftover sponges. And I thought, well, that'd be great, you know, because it's got all the nooks and crannies. I can put my nib in there, you know, to clean it out. But then when I actually got them in water, it smelled like seawater. And I remembered, hey, these are from the ocean. They're going to have salt in them. And I don't really have any way to pull the salt out of it. And I don't want to be dipping my metal into something corrosive to clean it. So that idea had to get scrapped, and I had to use the synthetic sponge. And I don't think I talked about that last time. So
no, you didn't.
Yeah, that was one of the downsides. I went a little bit crazy at the cigar store, buying more boxes. So you saw this one and this other one. So Daryl was joking that apparently I'm just going to buy boxes and make a stack of boxes.
I don't see a problem with that. I have a stack of boxes, and they're not even nice-looking boxes. But you know what that stack has? Different size boxes for when I need a particular size box.
It's true. And
I have a stash.
well, and I've been to the cigar store a couple of times when they've been cleaned out and there's like nothing real wood left. So that's one of the other reasons I kind of went crazy. Because this one, I've wanted one of these weird shaped ones where it's like not really square. It's kind of got the rounded edges.
Uh-huh.
I've wanted one like that for a purse for a while. And if I can ever remember what I did with the handle that I already bought for that, then it might actually become a purse. If not, it's got to be a box on top of another box.
Yay, boxes!
Yeah, the only downside is they all smell like cigars. So I'm going to have to rig up some baking soda stuff to keep inside of them for a while. I tried airing them out just like outside on the patio.
Yeah.
It airs them out for a little bit, but eventually you open it up after a day and the smell's still back, like it's still in the wood.
Yeah,
so
I think you're going to need to put in baking soda and close it with the baking soda on the inside.
Yep.
And then clean out the baking soda. You did get a lot. That's a nice color.
I know, right? It's a nice box. Even if I didn't like the color, it's like lined and the hinges are nice. Like, I'm like, this one might actually be big enough to hold my papers, whereas the other ones weren't. So, but I bought a couple of extra. I went to the woodcraft store, where they have the real woodworking stuff, and I bought a couple of hinges and stuff. Hinges and latches, because some of them don't actually have latches. They just like close. So if you don't want your stuff to spill out, you've got to put something on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be doing that. And I have a purse that was made. It looks like a cigar box purse, but it was actually just somebody's craft project where they put wood together. And the hinges on that were just put in with nails. So eventually the nails creeped out and left a hole in the wood. So I can't just put them back in and pray. So I got some actual little tiny brass screws finally at the wood store. They have the side. You're probably not even going to be able to see it.
I can see it, yeah.
Okay. To fix it. And that's a project I've needed to fix for a long time because I love that purse. So a little bit, I might move the hinges over like a half an inch so they're in some new wood, or I might try it with some glue, in the same spot. We'll see.
Good ideas.
Yeah, but I finally have all the hardware to do it, so stoked about getting that done. And if nothing else, I figure they cost $2. The $2 goes to a charity, because otherwise they just throw the cigar boxes away.
Right. That's nice that the profits go to charity. Yeah.
They have a little paper on who it's going to and stuff. Cool. Yeah, why not? Yeah. And they're recyclable. If I end up not wanting them or not using them, I put them in the recycle trash, so.
Nice.
Bam.
Done.
Pretty much. I'm not stressed about it. And like I said, keeps me out of trouble.
Can you hear that knocking noise?
No, but I have a fan and stuff going on in the background because it's hot here, so it might be drowning it out.
Just in case that did show up on the audio.
Uh-huh.
That is our upstairs neighbor,
mm-hmm.
Tapping her spoon to clear it of cat food. And this cat gets cat food, almost all the time. Oh, do you want a snack, honey? Okay. She gives him some food and then tap, 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 tap. We're guessing that's what it is.
Yeah. It makes a nice headcanon. I like how we always come up with stories of what, our upstairs and aroundstairs neighbors, are doing based on the noises.
Yeah. When
they're vacuuming at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're like, methamphetamine? No.
Or did you get up in the middle of the night and knock over the orange juice that was on the stand, and now you've got a giant mess that you can't ignore?
Yeah, or did the cat barf on everything, and now you're cleaning it up, or whatever.
Yeah.
Life gets in the way. Oh, let me show you one other thing I did. I forgot to drag it over here. Let me grab it. So I was trying out more of my new calligraphy nibs, and I noticed that I was having trouble with a couple of them. Even though I had already cleaned them with dish soap to try to get any packaging oils off of them, it just clearly didn't work well enough, the dish soap. This lady who does a calligraphy blog, it's huge. I mean, she's got a ton of... It's one of those people like, how do you make so much content? My God, you know? But she recommended sticking your brand new nibs in a potato. So that's why I have a potato in a bag right here. Because once I jabbed him, he was like juicing everywhere, and I wasn't sure I was still going to need him again if I had to dip the nibs in for longer.
What does jabbing it into the potato do?
Pulls the oil off because of the starch of the potato. Yeah, bizarro, but she's a calligraphy pro, and if it works for her, it should work for me, you know? And I almost never get the cheap russet potatoes, you know, like regular Idaho potatoes.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, let me find the smallest potato I could find. Anyway, so I did that, and it seems to have worked. I haven't actually tried, but they've all, I won't say tarnished, but they don't look as slick as they did when I first got them. Let's see. I don't know if you're going to be able to see at all what I'm talking about.
A little bit, I think.
Where it's like kind of darker.
Yeah, uh-huh. And that's from the potato?
And that's from the place where it was in the potato. And I can tell the line of how deep it was in the potato, you know, based on where the shininess of the pen stops. Like, you can kind of see it better on the backside here.
Well, did she say that was going to happen?
Say what?
That it was going to tarnish?
Tarnish? No. But she... let me explain why I think it's an okay thing. Hold on, let me find the one. So this is the nib that I used before I got any of my fancy calligraphy nibs, and I got it as part of the quill set with this one. And I didn't like this one at all because I just had a lot of trouble with it, and it kind of digs into the paper because I'm not, you know, used to the curve of it.
Mm-hmm.
And this nib that I actually like a lot is tarnished from where I dip it into the ink.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to have worked better once it got rid of sort of its shininess.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really worried about the lack of polish on the rest of the nibs. I think it's actually going to help the ink adhere to the surface. And it's not rust, because I've had the one that rusted from where the ink pulled up into the holder because I dipped it too far. I think it just sort of removed the protective coating that was on it for shipping. So I haven't tried them yet. Going to try them soon. If nothing else, if it ends up that it's not working like I anticipate it will, I have fine enough sandpaper that I can always sandpaper it.
Yeah, I would be curious to hear how it works out. And as always, I really want to see more of your calligraphy. So if you did any of that, I always want to see.
I usually just start doing gobbledygook and practicing A's or whatever, you know. It's nothing exciting to look at, but if you want. I usually do like the first part of the Gettysburg Address.
Yeah, want to see.
Okay, I have no idea where it's at the moment, so.
Just next time, want to see.
Okay, sounds good. For my pen pal, I finally sent her like a, hey, where are you note, and she sent...
Jane Austen pen pal?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
And she said that it was in the mail that day, and I still haven't gotten anything, so I don't know. I'm hesitant, and I'm not going to send any more until I get one. Like, I'm not...
you know that I would do the same thing.
I'm not into diminishing efforts, or diminishing returns from my efforts.
Yeah.
But I still have hope for the system itself, so we'll see. And I have pictures of the letter addressed and stamped as proof that I did it for the lady who runs it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I would give it another couple weeks and then.
Yeah, I might send us, I mean, if I don't get something in another week, I might send another email, and then that will be the end of my communications with her, I think, and then I'll probably just talk to the organizer and say, hey, it's not working. Yeah.
Did you send it with tracking? Do you know where it is?
Yeah, I don't really expect anybody to do tracking or whatever. These are, like, not supposed to be that big of a deal, you know? It's just, if you can't woman up and do it, then that's not my problem. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
My hope is low at the moment, let's put it that way.
Well, I hope it turns out that it was just lost in the post office somewhere and, you know.
Yeah. Or that she was busy, whatever, as long as you're I don't care. I'll get there eventually. Yeah. So.
Cool.
Thanks. I actually bought a woodworking plane. Well, it's like a cabinet scraper. Boing, boing.
What would you use that for?
Because Daddy gave me what is a spoke shave. It's basically like a blade that's about the same size as this guy. Well, maybe half of that. And then it has handles on either side, and it's meant for, you know, well, shaving spokes, obviously. But making wheels for covered wagons anymore. You know, you use it for cabinet scraping or whatever. But because I was doing it inside of a cabinet, because that was where the biggest dents and stuff were that I was trying to get out. I had to take the blade out and just basically use it in my hands as a cabinet scraper. But now I actually have a real cabinet scraper.
That doesn't sound like a Safe Sister approved activity.
Why?
This removing the blade, you're going to cut yourself. I much prefer this cabinet scraper. I just had to add that in and get real close to the camera. Okay. But this doesn't even actually have a sharp edge. And the other one didn't really either. It doesn't change.
If it's too sharp, you're just gouging into the wood. Wood is not flesh. I don't know if you're going to be able to see. Yeah, so it's interesting because I went to a woodworking site on YouTube to see how to sharpen it, how to use it properly, because I was pretty much only doing it by hand and by instinct, and I was like, I should probably look up the directions, you know? Because I really don't consider a picture on the back like, no, don't do this. I don't see that as instructions. At least not adequate for a newbie. Maybe it's great if you're already a woodworker, but I'm not.
Yeah.
So, he had a great tutorial. He showed like a regular scraper, and then versus one that was dull, and then he took the one that was dull and showed you how to sharpen it, which is what I needed to know. So I said thank you, and yeah, I actually got a response. I was like, holy moly! And his wood shop looks so nice, like in the background of the shots. I'm like, oh, look at all the tools. Yeah.
Well, that's really fun.
Yeah, and if nothing else, since I'm mostly done with the cabinet, it has its last coat of oil on the back. I might do one more layer, but I think I'm pretty much done with it. The only thing that I have left that I could use a scraper for would be the shelves and stuff that I'm making.
And future projects.
Yeah, true enough. And I like hand tools, and it's a nice one for getting in cracks and stuff, you know, like, so. They had one that came with a gooseneck one, which is like, it looks like a little, it's not a fleur-de-lis, what do they call the paisley pattern? You know how it looks like that? But I was like, that is even more of a specialty. I don't envision myself using a gooseneck for much of anything short of doing real woodworking. So using this in conjunction with sandpaper, like the two tools that I can use for simple woodworking stuff. So there's that. And I watched a lot of, well, not a lot, but YouTube videos because did I tell you I have a stump?
A stump?
I have a stump. I have a log. My log wants to tell you the futures. Sorry, it's not the futures. That was from Twin Peaks. I can't remember what she said. My log wants to speak to you or whatever. That log was probably the most intelligent being in that whole series. But yes, I have a log, and it is maybe 1.5 feet across and maybe 2 feet tall.
Cool.
It's like a huge log like this.
Yeah.
It's like this.
Serious log.
It's a serious log. Okay, so...
Where did your serious log come from? Or are we not allowed to say?
I am not allowed to say.
Okay.
It was free, and it is oak.
Cool.
It was part of a
That's
tree.
Okay. That's okay. If you don't...
What?
Can you not tell me? Or are you
No,
being silly? Oh, okay.
No, I can't tell you.
Oh, okay.
But it is oak, and it was cut down because of termite damage.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's still full of termites.
Yeah.
Yep. So I have it in a giant, like thick lawn, heavy-duty lawn bag, like lawn debris, contractor bag or whatever, until I can figure out what the heck I'm going to do with it. Because basically, once it gets to a certain size, all of the advice on the internet, it says, take it to a professional. Because I can't put this log in the oven just to heat it, like it's too big. Like all of the common advice for getting rid of insects in wood stuff is either for if you have like a log house, which is way big, and then you get the professionals, or it's small crafty stuff, which you can just,
put in the oven.
Put in the oven, put in the kiln, put in whatever, treat it with something. So I found something that I can actually brush all over it that's borate based. So we'll see. I might try that if the wood store has it.
Well, I just want you to know that Terry would be really excited to have a piece of that log.
Well,
I know you probably have plans for it, but I just want to let you know you would get lots of points.
If she wants her own, I know where I can get more.
Yes, she wants her own.
Face, see me after the podcast.
Okay.
And I also got a small branch that, well, I say small, but it's like, I don't know, 6 inches maybe, from hand to hand. And it's about the size of my forearm. It's not that big. And it has the bark on it. This is oak as well. This one has a lot less termite damage, like maybe a small little bit. So I might actually be able to do stuff with this, whereas the log is really up in the air. Because it's free wood, it's like...
Right.
There's a reason it's free.
Right.
But I want to cut it into cookies, which are like the thin slices, like 1/2 inch or whatever, and use them for coasters. Because a friend of mine who runs a CNC shop, he made some out of birch, and they look really awesome. And I found that you can coat them with pentacryl, which is supposed to soak into the bark and the wood to help keep it all together, keep the bark on it, and also keep the cut edges from drying too fast and sending a crack through the radius of it. Because usually the outside dries faster than the inside.
Oh, interesting.
And then that's what gives you a crack straight down the center is when the outside and the bark is drying at a different rate than the inside. And it cracks to relieve the pressure. According to many things I've seen on YouTube now.
On YouTube. Speaking of things that we've learned on YouTube, I have things if you're
I'm all done.
wooded. Okay, actually, I have to go get it. So I'm going to stop recording for a second and we'll be back in just a moment. This is a charcoal kiln. It's made from a tin can. And then the feet are just some bolts.
Oh, okay.
And then holes drilled in the bottom.
Nice.
So a lot of the YouTube videos that we watched to learn how to make this had you remove the bottom and then put in some nails in the side to catch it.
Uh-huh.
And then put it back in so that this bottom part is covered.
Oh.
But we thought we would just try it like this, and it made it, we have a fancy dancy can opener, so actually removing the bottom part would have been an issue. So this was the easier route.
I understand. We
did 3 legs instead of 4 because tripods will always sit flat. Well, not necessarily flat, but they'll be more stable because they won't rock back and forth. And then this is the handle.
Nice.
So, just a long straight bolt, but the handle was just a piece of wood, but this is Terry doesn't like to sand, so I'm the sander. And so this was the part of the project that I contributed the most on.
Nice.
I thought about, staining the handle and like putting a polyurethane coating on it to make it last longer. But then Terry said that people on YouTube have said they only last for a couple of years.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, cool. So we used the reason we wanted one is because we recently got a Dutch oven within the last couple of years to go camping with.
Uh-huh.
And having a charcoal kiln to heat up the charcoal is just a lot easier than trying to get charcoal briquettes.
Yes.
All to light at the same time in the same...
Yes, I agree with you 100%, and I don't know why everybody doesn't use them.
Well, they're, $20. But this was like $3 because the can I found at work, so the can was free.
Nice.
And then it was just like the extra doodads and things. It probably wasn't even $3.
I bet you if you went to your local school and asked the cafeteria if they had big cans, not a bad idea. I didn't even think about that because they're going to be buying in bulk, so they'll have the big can of peaches or whatever.
Yeah, and they probably just toss them in the recycle bin, so...
Right. Might as well.
Although some of the YouTube comments, they say, like, I'm still eating the beans. Because you can't just buy a giant can of beans and then slowly eat your beans.
6 months later.
Yeah. So, because Terry and I like to do projects together. And so the other project that Terry was working on was getting this old Coleman Lantern working again. So here it is, one of these guys.
Oh, is that Daddy's?
Yes.
Oh, how funny.
I asked him, too, like, did you ever use it?
Oh, yeah.
And he said, yeah, once or twice.
We did when we were kids, yes. As adults, no. Never.
Right. Do you remember? Because I don't remember us ever going camping as kids.
Yeah. Because I remember how hard it was to get the wicks lit.
I'm trying to get it not to glare, but it's not.
Not messed up. No, that's fine.
Well...
Because I remember, like, you have to light them to turn them into ash or something, and that's the part that glows, and then you can't touch them, because if you do, because it's ash, then you screwed it up, then you gotta get another bag. Yeah.
They're so cool.
I know.
It's crazy. So, anyway, Terry did take it all apart.
Okay.
And she was trying to clean out things, and then, there was something we did first. Oh! What did we do? I can't remember what we did first. But then the second part was putting in the new, whatever those are called.
Bags?
Bags that light up. They're called something. I can't think of what it is right now.
I don't know. Calling them wicks. I don't know if I know what I'm talking about or if I'm just making it up, but
It doesn't, they're called mantles. That's what they're called. They're called mantles.
Ah.
There we go. So the first thing we did was replace the mantles, and it wasn't working quite right. It would light, but then it would go out. So the next step was replacing the generator, which is the part on the inside. There's so much glare that it's the rod that goes in the middle.
Yeah.
Coleman.
Product placement.
$5.
$5, Coleman. Just kidding. We have like 2 viewers.
So, the first time we lit it, it went out.
Right.
Once we replaced the generator, though, then it started working. So now it works for realsies.
Wow, that's exciting.
So we had a lot of fun, and we're going to try and take it camping and actually use it camping. And
yeah, it's nice, especially if you use the same fuel for your stove.
it's not.
Oh, wow.
It's
Sorry.
too old. It uses an older.
Okay.
It's definitely, this is not energy efficient. This is not
It is
probably
bright.
good for my health,
It's bright.
but it's fun
Yes.
and it's bright. So we had a good time restoring it.
Sounds like it.
I think that's probably all the crafty things I have.
What about your plants? Tell us about your plants.
Oh, yeah. Planting things.
Planting.
So I have a tomato plant. His name is Sonny. Sonny is sometimes a girl and sometimes a boy. Gender fluid tomato plant.
You are so funny. I love how people name their plants like I don't kill them every day. Like, I would run out of names, legit. Okay, like, I'd have to start going, like, with weird names, like, these are the goat suckers, named after the group of birds. Okay, yeah.
So here's Sonny. Making flowers. Making me new tomatoes. The tomatoes are and here's a full view of the plant.
Very cute.
I don't know how long Sonny is going to last. Sonny is named Sonny because it's making baby cherry yellow tomatoes, clearly. Duh. Sonny. Sonny, really wanted to make tomatoes, and I didn't have the heart to, no, you can't make tomatoes right now. I'm going to chop off your flowers so you can make more leaves. So he's trying to make tomatoes and trying to make leaves and not quite doing either very well.
Yeah.
So we'll see how long Sonny is around for, but I am enjoying watching Sonny grow.
A for effort, Sonny.
Yeah, and it's right outside my front door, so when I leave in the morning, I get a little plant fix.
Yeah. And, if it dies, just go buy one that's, already most of the way and then throw it in the ground. And then you won't even notice the difference.
Yep.
So, yeah.
That is my plan.
I'm not looking at you, maidenhair fern with 4 sprigs, but I'm totally looking at you. Look at this. Look at this ridiculousness.
It's so cute.
I don't even want to show you the other. Yeah, but this used to be so full of life, and now it has sadness.
It's a maidenhair.
Yeah, pretty much. I gotta buy some other ones. I don't even want to show you the other one. It's just sad to look at.
That's okay. You don't have to show me. Cheers.
Pretty much.
That's it for me.
That's it for me as well. Oh, wait, I lied. Did I show you my earrings? They're still alive.
Your earrings are still alive. You did not show me these. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so they sell these little charms, for your phone. And it's just a little plant in a plastic thing.
In the middle. No, there.
Oh, yeah, because I forgot my camera's off center.
Yeah, that's okay. Oh my gosh, is that a cactus?
Yes, it is. One is a cactus, one is a succulent.
How tiny is that cactus?
Super tiny.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you were saying, where did these come from?
Japanese market. They sell them as phone charms. Half of them in the store were already dead, so I know they're real. And this one's grown. He's put on probably 2 millimeters in growth since I've got him. Well, probably 3. And this one's gotten a little bit wider. So it's got sawdust shavings in the bottom and little holes. And you just set them in the water for 5-10 minutes. They soak up the water and then take them out, and that's it.
How much are these? I'm just curious.
I think they were $6.
Oh my gosh, you could totally... If you made earrings out of those, cactuses are like super hot on Etsy. I know everybody says this. You should sell it on Etsy.
Yeah. So I actually
really cute.
I made them into earrings for the Science March because I was going as Mrs. Frizzle as I could.
Oh, that's pretty Mrs. Frizzle.
Yeah, and when I saw them, I was like, I have to wear these as earrings. So I got to. And, you can get them matching or whatever. But I wanted one succulent and one cactus. And I've had them since the March, and they're still alive. And then once they get too big, you just pull them out. It slides out and pops open. It's just 2 little pieces of plastic holding everything in, and then you plant it.
That's so cute.
Well, I haven't taken them out because they haven't gotten big enough or started to look stressed enough. So.
Not yet. No, yeah. they can live in there a little longer.
Yeah, so they've been in there over a month. I'm like, okay, carry on, guys. Some of your comrades have died, so I know that you can. So.
That's cute.
Isn't it adorbs? So I was trying all this time to macrame like a holder so that I could wear them as earrings, and plastic, so much easier. Yep. So much easier.
So much easier.
So much easier. But I'll probably still try to do the hard thing eventually, but. Okay, so now I really am done.
All right. Well, I think that'll be it for us for this week.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.